You are currently watching 50 screenshots showing armies of at least 3 players. These pictures were taken from high elo Arabia 4v4s, and upon further inspection you will notice immediately that these games almost always boil down to archer and cavalry play. More specifically, flanks go archer crossbow, pockets go scouts into knights, while of course there are sometimes eagles, champions, elephants or other regional or unique units in there. The majority of team games will feature mostly these 3 unit lines. To me, I thought it is weird that the game limits itself in team games this much, and while this might change in the future, I made a mod that first and foremost aims to increase the amount of viable units in team games, while simultaneously bringing fresh wind into the 1v1 meta, so let's dive in. Wait, what? You sure we can leave that gag in? Battleland Warfare is a mod that adds 4 new generic units to the game and carefully tunes civilizations to accommodate their addition. These new units are available for almost all civs in the barracks, stable, archery range and siege workshop. Each of these units have their own strengths and weaknesses that I will explain in a bit, but first I need to quickly go over the general changes made to the game. As a whole, I tried to stay as close to the vanilla game as I could, without adding units that have gimmicks for the sake of having gimmicks. First up, Militia and Men-at-Arms gain 2 more attack versus shock infantry such as Billman, Eagles or Fire Lancers. The other 3 units, Long Swordsmen and upgrades, will attack about 5% faster. Moving on to technologies, the Elite Genitor upgrade was moved to the castle to make space for the new thrower unit. Next, Gambesons additionally grants 10 HP to the new Billman-line, while Arson no longer affects ranged infantry. These units will get the bonus damage for free, with the exception of Geberos and the thrower line getting them in a more balanced way. Now on to civilization changes. On release of BLW, adjustments were made to 11 civs. I've categorized these tweaks into major changes, minor changes and wording changes. For the major changes, I've decided to reduce the number of bonuses that overlap with each other in order to make them more unique. These change civ bonuses and unique text take into account the 4 new units. Minor changes are balance changes that just swap out some percentages. These are mostly nerfs to infantry civs because of the inclusion of 2 new powerful infantry units in my mod and the buffs to the militia line. Sometimes I added some tech tree holes in the availability of new text and unit upgrades for some infantry civs instead. With that out of the way, we can finally come to the meat of the matter. In total, Battleland Warfare adds 5 new techs, 4 new units and their 6 unit upgrades. Let's start with the new techs. The first technology is Shield Boss. Shield Boss is available in the Castle Age after Gambesons and grants the Militia and Billman-line 1 extra pierce armor. Civs that do not have Gambesons can still research Shield Boss if it is available to them. The other 4 techs are upgrades specifically for the thrower line that buffs its attack, attack rate and range. As such, Throwing Techniques is an archery range tech that increases the range of throwers by 1, while also making their missed projectiles deal full damage. Likewise available from Feudal Age and beyond are the Blacksmith upgrades specifically for the throwers. As of now, only the thrower line benefits from these upgrades, however there are plans. Anyway, moving on to the new units, the thrower is a ranged infantry similar to, well, these units, and are trained in the archery range for 35 food and gold. In comparison with archers, they attack very fast, have a medium speed and are somewhat durable, but have slightly lower attack, less accuracy and range. Throwers benefit from all infantry bonuses and techs except the infantry attack upgrades, because they have their own upgrades in the blacksmith. Overall, the thrower is a great alternative to the archer line and feels clean to micro and satisfying to attack with. Dealing melee damage and being infantry, not archers, they can wreak havoc on skirms, smaller buildings and low numbers of siege. However, throwers are not just anti-skirmisher. Since they're supposed to be an all-purpose unit, they also deal bonus damage versus cavalry archers and armored units, such as knights, elephants, the new lancers and many unique units. Armored units? Well, let's go on a bit of a side quest here. Armored units are a new armor class introduced in this mod that follows a very easy formula. If the first unit of any unit line has 3 or more combined base armor, it is an armored unit. Let's just look at an example. Eagle Warrior consists of units with 3 or more pierce armor. However, since the first unit is the Eagle Scout with a total of only 2 armor, the whole Eagle line is not affected by this armor class. Similarly, Elite Latai have a combined armor of 3 and would be considered an armored unit, but they are not, because the non-elite version only has 2 base armor. Game design wise, this was made to prevent the case where upgrading a unit or researching could become a disadvantage. Whew, that was quite a lot so far, but we're nearing the end. I promise Battleland Warfare looks more complex than it really is. To help out players, this mod additionally has a full tooltip, tech tree preview, and hover info support even during game pauses. Furthermore, in the video description down below, I linked a document that contains all the information about the new content, but also how to host the mod, how to set up hotkeys, and pretty much everything. Side quest done, let's continue with the new units. The other infantry of my mod is the Billman-line. These units represent peasants being drafted to the king's army, fighting with repurposed farm equipment. Drafting your workers, especially in feudal age, comes at a high food and gold cost, but you get a healthy, fast-moving unit with high melee armor that does well versus cavalry, elephants, and armored units. As they slay enemy soldiers, they get used to their unconventional weapons and gain attack up to 2 times. To the lack of the enemy religion, however, these laborers are very superstitious and get converted faster than other units. Being part of the shock infantry roster and having no pierce armor, they falter quickly to the militia line and ranged units. Needless to say, the Billman line will be a strong staple of any Civ, and with their attack on kill reward, they can escalate quite quickly during and after winning small skirmishes. In the Castle Age, the Lancer line has found a place in the stable. The Lancer is an expansive heavy cavalry that can hold their ground in most melee fights. Dealing bonus damage versus armored units and having some cavalry armor, they do well versus battle elephants, knights, and even camels. Having a lance, they have slightly extended reach, although less than the step lancer. Compared to knights, they can even out their lower attack rate, slower mobility, and lack of pierce armor with their higher HP, high melee armor, and bonus damage. And that pretty much sums it up. Not a whole lot to say here, no gimmicks, just a regular unit with slightly increased range, strong in melee combat but suffers against massive archers. As a quick side note though, they have the new Lancer armor class, which is also given to Step Lancers, Fire Lancers, and Iron Pagoda. The only unit that does a little bonus damage versus Lancers right now are Scorpions, and that's all. Lastly, BLW adds a new siege called the Flamethrower in the Imperial Age. The Flamethrower is an anti-gunpowder siege that too does well versus other siege and wooden buildings. It moves relatively fast and can cut trees, but is limited by its minimum range and high train time. Like fire ships, they attack 4 times per second and can do quite some damage to buildings or units with no or little armor, but primarily they deal bonus damage versus gunpowder, siege, and ships. To be able to reach enemy bombard cannons, scorpions, or small numbers of onagers, they resist anti-siege attacks, have ballistics as default, and get up to 6 range. Furthermore, with their high pierce armor and tiny amount of splash damage, they do well versus archers and unarmored groups, especially when stacked on a tile. Once enemy soldiers reach them, however, they fall apart like rams. Speaking of rams, flamethrowers deal melee damage, so they cook rams in their own beta. Ring. No cap. Ptt. No CGI needed. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Whatever. In summary, flamethrowers are great supportive siege that can stop gunpowder pushes and become an option against fast imps, provided you're imp as well. Without needing any upgrades and being available for every Civ in the game, they can also take the role of rams, but will not take on towers or castles anytime soon. We're finished. I'm now splitting video and audio, showing you some technicalities in the background while speaking a little more about my mod. Battleland Warfare started out as an idea back in September 2024, and after a healthy year of procrastination, some map scripting and playing other games, I came back to put the theory into practice. So yeah, I made this mod because I was dissatisfied with how few general units we actually have, the state of team games, hearing complaints about the 1v1 skirm matter, and then I just sat down and started working. As for the future of the mod, I will obviously make balance changes to my units, and if you have any feedback, bug reports, recs, or if you're a content creator wanting to help me out, feel free to contact me on Discord. Looking ahead, I already have plans for one more siege unit, and the rest really depends on whether you want me to continue staying as close to the base game as possible or add a little more. Ideas I have certainly enough. Regardless, this mod will get updated every time there's a balance patch or DLC, so it automatically includes any changes made to the base game, although I might need a few hours, days, or in rare cases weeks after a patch. Final note, if you're tech savvy and you want to start making your own mod or continue mine should I have stopped, I've got good news. Battleland Warfare is created with Python code and is open source on GitHub. Read about it in the description down below if you're interested and know what that means. Thank you all for watching, and special thanks to these nice folks on screen that helped me one way or another. Cheers.